Captain Sinclair. I hope your ship is well. That only Jolly Roger has been through hell. Yo ho, on an adventure we go. In the heated digital high seas, we travel with ease until we reach the outer edge and freeze. The Arctic chill like a very steep hill through the darkness led by our will. Yo ho, on an adventure we go to beyond the outer limits of society, broadcasting the reality. The pirates will always steal the show. It's from WPRPN, you know. Yo ho, on an adventure we go. Docked our vessels in the Skullport Harbor. No landlubbers will fight for you harder. Your old first mate went AWOL after a tricky kill haul. The legacy of pirate radio is strong. I hope our mates will come along. The changes we seek may not be long. That is why I wrote this song. And we go ho ho, on adventure we go. Welcome everybody, friends, folks, foes, and fellow pirate mateys to yet another weekly edition of World Pirate Radio News. It's show segment number 321. Pirate Church is in. Of course, I'm your host, as always, the Robin Hood's Chief Communications Officer, Jaffe Ryder. WPRPN.com is the website you want to drop by, check out, take a look at. In case you're wondering, of course, WPRPN. Well, maybe we could leave that a little later on into the show and see who can come up with the right answer, what it actually stands for. The acronym itself. Sometime we managed to stump the band, as it were. But Pirate One Radio at protonmail.com is our main email address. If you have any PayPal donations you'd like to send our way, always appreciated. We very much depend on some form of support via the wider listing public. It is a public-powered enterprise. You know, what we have on the go here, it's been that way for some time now. So, hate to get to the point where we're simply running on fumes, folks. But keep in mind as well that as far as the PayPal, or rather email address is concerned, pirateoneradio@protonmail.com, you can use that. And, you know, do take note if you have any show suggestions or guest ideas you'd like to bounce off of us. This coming Friday night, we've got renowned Canadian poetess and Diamond joining us.
She herself, very well known within Canada's the upper echelons, refined quarters of Canada's poetic circles or corners, if you will. I suppose it's take your pick. Uh, she also happens to be an MK Ultra survivor. That's how the story goes. And on top of that was a pretty close friend and companion of one Mr. Leonard Cohen for a number of years. So, small world, folks. I know Leonard is, you know, to this day and probably for the balance of my life will remain one of my top favorite entertainers, songwriters, and poets. There's no doubt about that.
First,
But
we'll take Manhattan.
yeah,
Then we'll take Berlin.
oh, he's got so many. He's got so many hits, Vinny. But more than just hits, songs that are more obscure that only the real fans have any idea of, you know. So, but before we get to all of, you know, more deeply into that, I'm sure we've got Yvonne here this week as well, out of Coquitlam, British Columbia, who uh, presumably might have a thing or two he'd like to mention regarding Cohen and his legacy. Uh, just a quick reminder that, yeah, check out the show description end of things. A lot of handy dandy, very practical links you'll want to take note of, ways you can uh, stay engaged and part of the virtual online community, as it were. We've got a Patreon presence. You can join for free, actually. And let us know if you'd like to see any uh, Patreon content of any particular kind. Just drop us a message, drop us a little note, and we'll see what we can do to accommodate you. Not a problem whatsoever. We've got merchandise available via places such as galacticfire.com. Sonia's great project that she's been working on and doing a pretty damn fine job of building up over time here. So drop by and see what she has unfolding over there, folks. galacticfire.com. Digital support we're always open to, of course, and any other way that people can help out, even if it requires a little thinking outside the box. Liking, commenting, sharing, remembering to hit subscription and notification buttons, along with passing word on to friends, family, and co-workers. So, yeah, this week we do have not only Vinny, of course, from Brooklyn, who we heard from here just a few moments ago, but also, oh, it looks like Yvonne. Oh, he stepped out. And now we've got Christian returning to the fold. Christian Laterre. I'm not sure why you're so blurry on screen there.
Yeah.
Christian.
Yeah, hold on. I'll. It's my tape on it.
Oh,
yeah, give me 2 minutes. Yeah.
Oh, do what you want, man. If you want to be taped out, that's kind of it provides more of an allure and definitely living more up to the reputation of a bona fide mystery man. So feel free, you know. Hopefully the sound audio end of things is coming through all right on everybody's end, as well as via, you know, YouTube, D Live. We got to get Telegram going, of course. Get launch that here momentarily. Facebook and homenetwork.tv. I think that is all 5 of them. So, but do let us know if we have any audio or visual issues that that you're picking up on via your end of things from the viewers and listeners' perspective. Just working on
I figured something out here on Teams. You're having an issue where if anybody's trying to come in, they have to actually click on the join thing without it saying join, and they can come into your chat. Just so, because me and Chris had to go through that, and Sonia helped us out with it.
You have to click join.
Yeah, you have to actually make a call, I guess.
Even after you're called, even after we call you, you still have to click join.
Yeah, we didn't even get a call from you.
That's weird. Yeah, that's really strange. So clearly,
Team sucks.
They've got a few either bugs to work out or someone is cock blocking Jaffe and the pirate crew here via Skullport Harbor. So it's
we call them features here at Microsoft there, Jaffe.
Yeah, they're
cock block.
Yeah, they're top notch. Yeah, cock blocking features they have in place. Yeah, they're really doing quite an amazing job. So, all right, Mark as well too. Drigas Productions. So I think that about does it as far as we got a total of 6 on board here this go round, and we'll see where it goes. But yeah, once again, Pirate Church is in. That's a little catchphrase and slogan I've been wanting to throw out there for some time now. I just kept forgetting to.
Well, I thought we were having a union meeting there, Cap.
A union meeting, Jesus. Well, loose knit. Let's say loose knit. I don't know. Why would you say that exactly? Other than trying to make a joke, which is kind of it is.
We're
fun.
here to pay our dues to you.
Oh,
there we go.
Please, no. I mean, that's you. There is nothing worse I could think of than having to do this all on my own. It would be completely. I mean, and having said that, it's colorful personalities such as yourselves who really help to bring this show to life. Of course, it's a completely different format than the feature end of things on Friday nights, or if and just to remind people, because for those of you who are new listeners to the show, 8 p.m. Pacific time out on the West Coast, 11 on the East of the Americas. That's Saturdays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays here in the Tokyo Seoul time zone, 12 noon. And so take note of it, write it down, stamp it to your forehead or what have you, whatever it takes, little, what do they call those little memo notes? You just tape it to your fridge or whatever it takes. You wouldn't believe the people. Naroki is the worst, I gotta say. I'll call him out. That's such a stupid son of a bitch. It's like Naroki, for fuck's sake. What time? Angel was really bad too. It's like, Angel, Christ, it's the same time every day. Like anytime we meet up here, it's the same time. Like, how, I don't understand. Go ahead, Sonia. Sorry about that.
I was just interjecting post-it note.
Post-it note.
Earlier.
There you go. Exactly. Yeah, you're looking pretty swanky tonight. Got the headband. Yeah. You're rocking total. You got the piratess mode, big time.
Transmute it,
What you got?
The energy.
What are those?
What?
Jesus Christ! It's interesting. I was just this documentary. I think it was a did I get it off of YouTube? It may have been YouTube. It was some documentary. I think it's called My Boobs, and it's about these women with oversized mammaries, like
Uh,
What's a mammary?
well, you could say tits, but we'd probably get kicked
Yeah,
off
there
the
you go.
air.
Okay,
Well, no, we'd get
I-
kicked. You can't say tits. Tits. I mean, how offensive
Well, it
is
makes
tits really?
sense.
It's
boobs. There's always boobs.
jugs.
Teats.
Jugs.
Say teats.
Teats are for
Teats.
cows. Teats are. I don't think
Well,
women
Oh,
like
my-
being
dude.
compared to cows usually. No. I think my tits are pretty sexy actually too. That's why I
I
never
love them.
show
Oh.
what's actually what I'm rocking here when the camera.
Yeah.
You do. I love
Comes
them.
on.
They look sexy as shit. Oh, sorry. Did I say that out loud?
You've seen me with my shirt off?
no,
Bare-breasted?
but
Anger
Oh,
stinks.
you've been
Yes,
you've been fantasizing. Is that it?
well, kind of, yeah. I was like,
You're a sick dude, man. You're a sick dude.
they said that I could get on OnlyFans finally.
Are you serious? I want to get on OnlyFans too, and I want somebody's going to be paying me, and I'm not going to be doing nothing other than just talking to these punters or whatever you want to call them. So yeah,
There's a few stipulations though. I
as
have
a
to
male.
yeah, I have to take it up the butt.
Oh,
Oh,
here we
wow.
go again. Here we go again.
I was
Roger
thinking
and
about
his
it.
anal fixation. I don't know where he gets this thing from.
Hello,
thinking-
Frisco.
Also, Roger has to identify as a woman to do it too.
So no
just
men
take it
like
up the butt.
yeah, that's just nonsense.
Just take it.
Yeah,
I was
you
I was
wish.
gonna say no, but then I thought about it. I was like, a lot of those women take it up the butt to be on OnlyFans too. So
No,
if
they
they have
don't.
to do it, maybe
No,
maybe I have
no, they.
to.
I don't buy that. You're just being a goofball.
I have
Actually, that.
announcements,
What's that?
guys. I have a couple announcements if that's
Yeah,
okay.
let's. Yeah. Time for get a little
Sure.
more serious.
So,
'Cause this is
I
not
got-
like grade 3 podcasting.
just changing the subject a little bit.
Yeah.
Sorry. Not sorry. But yeah, so I wanted to say I'm a little over halfway done with the new WPRPN, and that is if Jaffe likes it or not. So we'll see what happens with that, where there's going to be awesome forum boards where we can
Awesome.
like communicate.
Okay. Now, hey, I wanted to get things on a more kind of. You said porn boards.
No,
We're not
forum.
we're not here to promote porn
Forum.
boards.
Oh my God.
OnlyFans. We were
Sounded
trying
like
to.
porn
Wait,
boards.
wait,
to
Yeah,
me.
hold on,
trying to
hold on,
get
wait a
more
minute.
serious.
This isn't.
Forum? Forum?
This
I
isn't
mean,
one
you
whole
guys-
confession.
She said porn boards, right? Did I hear
You
that?
guys,
I did hear that.
yeah,
correctly.
you did. Like you shut me down for OnlyFans, and she starts talking.
Well,
about
I got a
porn
call-
and
I
shit.
got-
I signed
mean-
up for Butthole Confessions tonight.
Oh,
This is
Yeah.
a good show. I'm telling you, we started great.
Here we go. Porn boards and nudes. The nudes.
That's
All
Yeah.
right. It's not the news. It's not forums. It's porn boards and nudes.
I'd buy
right?
that for $1.
nude men in black.
It's gonna be more than $1.
There's your OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what? Okay. So I think you meant forum boards. Is that right?
Yes, forums. Yes, forums for pirates, pirate
Forum.
forums,
Okay,
stuff
right.
like that. Not
So
porn. I mean, that's
it's-
kind of
are-
be up to you.
Now you're totally
guys, but-
revamping what TDS Tom, what he put in place. Is that right?
Yeah, apparently whoever was doing things before,
Yeah.
yeah.
I hope we can get
Yeah.
rid of that. What
Make
he this did it was just if you can get rid of that, if you're that talented, like
Sure.
go
It was
for, like
crazy. The whole website
Yeah,
was just
yeah.
insane.
yeah. And
Yeah.
people are now have you been testing out if people have been more routinely receiving their confirmation email? Has that been overcome yet?
I haven't gotten that. I
Yeah,
haven't
well
gotten
this
that far yet, but I test that
okay.
here once I get. That'll be part of the testing
Yeah.
phase,
That's something where you
Mhm.
and I might have to get together actually and like in real
Make
live
sure.
time. Yeah, definitely. Okay. All right, that's good to hear. So good
then-
stuff. In fact,
And then
mhm,
just a couple more,
Yeah.
real quick.
sure.
Is there? I have 2 more T-shirts that I came out with. One of them's Alchemist, one of them's Matrix Demolition Team. I'll put a link in the chats. And also, well, actually, there's 3 more. The Typical Skeptic podcast now has his t-shirts on my site, and it's fabulous. And there's a lot more people coming in just because of him. He's got a big following.
Yes.
And so, also, I just wanted to say that me and Christian, I'm collabing with him to kind of maybe revamp his cover for his book and things like that, and just adding some here and there stuff. So that's kind of exciting too. We've been having fun with that. So that's about.
Yeah, I ran
Thanks.
his good stuff. I actually took some time to run his rough text through AI, and it helped to tighten things up a little bit. So it's gonna take a little more work, obviously, though, to get it to the point where it's, you know, where it's really where I think people would be blown away, ideally, because you want a product that, you know, well, you're not changing his ideas, you're just the editing and the syntax and so forth is because the main thing is English is not his first language, obviously, so it's a struggle to communicate at times these, you know, what can be pretty complicated, you know, thoughts and concepts. Would you not agree, Christian? That's one of the things that you were up against.
Yeah, for sure. But like, the good part that I did, like, was with AI. Now, like the last thing I sent you. So like the first page anyway, like the first 200 page, I think, or so.
Okay. Yeah, I just have so much coming. We got a lot coming our way here on a pretty routine basis. It's not easy to keep on top of it all, obviously. But I'm from you. You've been sending a few emails we'll get a handle on it all, and I'll try a little bit of the voiceover, the audio, you know, kind of narration, as it were, and see how that goes. I'm really quite. I don't know if I can deliver. I hope I can. I would love to be able to. I think that'd be fabulous. But we'll just have to wait and see.
Jeffy,
Yeah.
you see how you just passed by one of the items in your itinerary there?
What's that?
Starmer's male escorts.
Oh God.
Well,
yeah.
Well, that's I believe there's a hidden lesson in 1 Corinthians 6:9. And it involves that word that I typed into the chat there, malakoi.
You love that
the
word.
The word malakoi has nothing to do with effeminate whatsoever. That's the only translation you get in any Bible you have to have. The proper translation is transvestite. And I was actually censored this morning by Google, if you can believe that, on Coach Dave's show.
Oh yeah.
For saying this.
Where?
Yeah.
What?
I hope that we're connected to.
Well, hang on. What do you mean censored?
I mean, while I was saying this, my network connection disconnected.
So as soon as you uttered the term malakoi, and that's ancient. That's ancient. That's Koine Greek, I would imagine. Correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sounds like it. And that's, you know, people that look. Here's the thing, and the Bible, is that New Testament? I'm not sure about the Old, but there's some controversy regarding all these matters, and Bart Ehrman's one of my favorite scholars. There's a number out there I really would love to have on the show, but Koine. See, the thing is, Christ said this, Jesus said this, and then people will quote to you in English, modern day contemporary English, and the fact is, well, he didn't say that. Why? Because he didn't speak.
He didn't speak
English the way that we do. Right. He was, and it was more conceptual, and from the heart as well, from the heart, and you know,
they were speaking either Greek or Hebrew, right?
Aramaic was actually,
Aramaic, well,
yeah,
but not English. right? Without any
Well,
English
clearly, no,
idioms.
most definitely not. Yeah, yeah. But anyways, Koine Greek, yes, Malakoi.
So the point of that is, you know, we keep missing the whole idea of what's going on behind the scenes, right in our faces, right? And so we're walking around with our eyes wide shut.
Well, he's compromised. And his popularity is
Yes.
tanking for whatever
Yes.
reason. It could be part of it.
Right, because he's betrayed the public trust, right? And people seem to have forgotten that whole thing.
You mean
there's a public trust?
How so?
that
In portraying, as with the way Obama did, portraying himself as a married man, good, you know, family. Does he have children?
I don't even know.
Yeah,
Well,
but
here, let me give you this example. Jerry
Okay.
Adams, right? Sinn Féin, right?
right,
Okay, total traitor bastard, right? So
Yeah.
you know what happened today? You know what happened today, Jaffe?
no,
There was some guy walking his dog. 2 migrants killed his dog in front of him on the street.
okay.
Beat it to death right in front of him on the street.
What did this guy do? Were they
He's like, what the heck?
did they have
He's got his dead
weapons?
dog on a leash.
Did they have weapons, or
It was a chair or some object.
they just attacked? They attacked the dog from out of the blue.
Out of the blue.
Do the authorities know who these 2 people are?
This just happened, so I don't know.
Well, but was there any video footage?
I just posted a video myself tonight. I'll give you the video.
Is there a video of the dog being attacked?
There's a video of the dog dying. Yes, I have the video.
Gee, well, that's some awful karma, but happy.
Uh,
Well, it's all, you know, karma just means action. It was bad for the people that attacked the dog. Whether, you know how Jesus talked about, forgive them, for they know not what they do.
Yeah, but they know what they were doing, right? You'll see it in the video. It's very clear.
Well, they weren't thinking that, but they don't understand the implications to what they did. That it's not going to make them any happier. It's not going to make their lives any better now nor in the future.
I don't think I can afford them that excuse, but I'll get the video for you so you can see.
Yeah. What? I'm sorry, I missed the last part of what you said. You didn't say something.
So I'll get the video for you so you can see.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Uncolored.
Well, okay. So let me run down some of these other talking points then. So Trump, U.S. aid, rotting or delivered. I mean, Bono on Joe Rogan, blah, blah, blah. We'll get to that a little later if you folks want. Doesn't get more pro-Semitic than this. That's just something that irritates me to no ends. It's offensive and it's intellectually dishonest. It's offensive to the world's Semites, most of whom are not Jewish in any way whatsoever. And it's a term, and it's intellectually dishonest as well, because of that they have usurped the term and weaponized it. So moving along, though, it's pro-Semitic, but pro-Semitic in the sense that with the people of Gaza, absolutely, because whether you're supportive of them or feel any grief or just heartache, I suppose is one way of putting it, but disbelief over what's taking place. The fact is that they're very, very Semitic, and for these largely the Ashkenazi European interlopers, that particular ethno-nationalist contingent, to have absconded with, usurped, and weaponized the term. It's just the mainstream media is entirely complicit as well. There is not one of these talking heads, and they're smart people too. They're not stupid people.
No, they're clever. They're not smart.
They're
smart.
They want to keep their jobs.
Some job, huh?
Well,
remember the line from Cool Hand Luke, right? Calling your job don't make it right, boss.
Okay, give me more context. I know the movie. Was that with Paul Newman or Steve McQueen?
Yeah. Paul Newman, right? Yeah, he's being brought to the brig for some some insubordination, of the time, right? Of the moment, right? The entire movie is going out looking at.
It was a Western, wasn't it?
I guess it was.
You're
right?
taking the brig. It sounds like it was more
right.
naval.
Taking to the brig, right? And the guy brings him the pee bucket, and says, and the guy says to him, "Just doing my job, Luke."
Yeah, just following orders.
Job,
just
boss,
following
right?
orders. Yeah.
Right. So calling your job, don't make it right.
And that's what a big problem is in the world. It's been that way for some time. Just following orders. Yeah, at the but at the same time, if they don't follow those orders, then they're gonna, not only will they lose their job, what they have to face could be even worse, to the point of not just some other. Well, the punishment becomes more extreme, to the point of even look at what happened in World War I when they didn't do their jobs. Up and over into the no man's land, I guess. He gets shot in the back, right? Or basically,
worse.
Well, who knows? Yeah, who knows? So it's like, it's but at the same time, and then that's a situation, a context where within the using military as an example, that you are. Well, I think there is an important distinction to be made between legal and lawful, and I think even most lawyers will cop to that. Hopefully, the distinction between legal and lawful, and that the difference being very much along the lines of what Vinny has just pointed out here, and that I'm pretty sure that as soldiers, with respect to like the Geneva, is it the Human Rights and Geneva Code? Is that what it's known as, or Code of Geneva? That
convention.
Geneva Convention. Yeah.
And I'm sure that there's many lawyers that will find loopholes because they weaponize the law. That's the problem.
That's right, and it's called the.
But the issue is moral or immoral, and what is that when it comes to
Let your conscience be your guide.
Is that legal or is that law?
Bombing children, women and unarmed women and children, and destroying villages, whether
that's been done since the beginning of time. But the problem is, there was an agreement. There have been agreements, made, but who signed off on them, and how long do these agreements last for? That's the problem.
People are savages. There's also, since the beginning of time, there's been leaders who within that context have been more merciful, and usually women and children are taken into some form of bondage or slavery. That's historically speaking, right? Rather than just murdering them outright, when you find yourself on the losing end of military equation. So, but anyways, it's and yeah, just been myself really thinking a lot more of what we've seen from a distance, at least, taking place over the last few years via both the Ukraine and Palestine, Gaza. So, and what was it? I was thinking about this just yesterday. I wasn't clear of the timeline. Which came first, chicken or the egg? Was it? I think it was the Ukraine. The war in Ukraine started first, and then and then October 7th, the Netanyahu's inside job. That's another example where the mainstream media is so, they're captured, as RFK Jr. would say. Not that even he would go so far as to, only in the sense that he uses the term, not that he would go so far as to point out the obvious, the Ashkenazi emperor, originally from Poland, which is where he should really, if he was lucky at this stage, return to. Netanyahu, wearing no clothes. Yeah, Ashkenazi emperor from Poland wearing no clothes.
From the United States, he went to high school with Michael Jones.
He went to high school with Michael Jones.
Yeah, you didn't know that.
Well, small world once again, I guess, right? You never know.
Benjamin Milokoski.
Yeah. Just and then all of these prime ministers of Israel, every single one since the inception of the coming into being, which wasn't that long ago, people. And
1948.
And only because of the Holocaust. If there had been no Holocaust, do you really think there would have been an Israel? I don't.
All foretold in the Schofield Reference Bible.
What are you talking about?
You see how they rework Genesis 12, 1-3?
No.
It's all about Israel belongs to the people of Israel. Blah blah blah. Bunch of nonsense.
Right. And most, I think most Ashkenazi Jews, there's a large contingent that are they're secular atheists. They don't even believe in God, and yet then all too often they just it's ours because God has said so. It's the Bible says it so. It's
the same Bible that they don't believe in.
Yeah,
tells them that they have a possession.
Right.
That's a heck of a bit of a property law, isn't it?
Well, it's kind of like, I'm white when it's convenient to be. if not white, not white,
right.
when. Or they blame it's all whites, the whites of Hollywood. We hear so much about the whites of Hollywood. Well, okay, what Joseph Kennedy or somebody like that, or who exactly? They really dominate, do they? So, all right. Well, look, Musk leaves with a golden key and a black eye. Did you notice that just recently? So the White House. Let's come back to that momentarily. Kim, I think, did a pretty decent job with Doge, but there needs to be more oversight. There's no doubt about that, and fiscal accountability. I
want to give him credit. I want to give him and Doge credit for exposing what they did, because they broke in. First of all, they broke U.S. aids. Right, I won't call them the fake name that they used to fool everyone to think that they were helping this country, because they're U.S. destroy.
Do you know who
U.S. aids?
Do you know who launched that? You know who launched that? That program?
That was JFK back in 62.
61, yeah.
61, right?
Apparently,
right? But you see what they did? They killed him and then bastardized the whole program.
Yeah. So here we go. Whitney Webb, why hasn't she been invited on the Joe Rogan Experience? Good question. Thank you for raising that, Kim Iverson. The convicted felon in Arizona prison kills 3 inmates. Oh, they weren't just any 3 inmates. They were all child molesters, essentially. The
only time chomos get justice is when they're in prison.
KOS, kill on sight. Or when they're born again as a child and targeted. What goes around comes around. It's the
we would love to think that actually happens. I almost think it doesn't, but nonetheless.
Well, did you think that let's assume that there, reincarnation, the fact that, what are we doing here in the first place, right? Why is there something rather than nothing at all? A very important question that No, with this whole with the way we take time and space for granted, for crying out loud. You know, it's like, well, it's just time and space. You know, it's like, well,
as a famous podcaster who's completely out of his mind actually said correctly, we are walking through multiple dimensions at the same time.
Sounds about right. Sure. Yeah. So, and our heart is the key. You know, our heart is the key. Oh, those their hearts are so hard. Ye of Christ once again, and the state of our hearts. The Egyptians, ancient Egyptians, apparently would basically do away with the brains were drawn through the nostrils and discarded, and hearts were embalmed, I guess. I'm not sure if they were preserved in honey. I was talking with Robert Morningstar on the Morningstar Report just yesterday, helping out in the co-host capacity, and people can, by the way, hear the show's gonna end in 15 minutes. Wonderful. But people can hear his show every Sunday and Monday. Sunday is an afternoon affair, and Monday is in the evening, around 10 o'clock, I believe, 10 p.m. So, but talking about honey as a preserver. How would you say that? What is the term? Preserver. So something preservative. There we go. But yeah, but no. Do you think, Vinny, that we're like, for example, like Sonia over there, or myself? It doesn't matter. Do you think that if we are born again, not just in this moment, which would be kind of the Zen approach, I suppose, to see the universe in a grain of sand, as what William Blake talked about. He was onto something, wasn't he? And this takes us right down to the level of quantum physics.
Well, I prefer the whole looking within, right? Because I believe, Jaffe, that we've been distracted.
Oh yeah. Oh,
the whole concept of space, right?
Yeah.
But the real space, guys, is under our feet. But we have worlds under our feet.
Well,
forget that nonsense that you think it's up in the sky. Okay.
What are you talking? Well, it's.
Well, I'm talking about let's go to the real world. The real world example that we know from last year: the tunnels under the synagogues.
Yes, but under our feet. I thought you were talking about inner space. That's where you were going to.
Well, what I'm talking about is there's tunnels under almost every one of these edifices all around the world, right? It's not just that synagogue in Brooklyn. That's just ridiculous.
Oh yeah, okay, fine. And the hollow earth, which I mean,
right. Let's go further. Right, the hollow earth. Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Tolkien,
I mean, look at all the deep underground military bases.
We've been told all this stuff, right? Elon Musk and the boring company, right? All this. Okay. Why don't we start taking understand what's happening right under our feet?
Yeah. Are you? Right? And you are aware. You are aware that maybe some people aren't, but in the event that Putin loses his shit and becomes unhinged, and who knows, like this things could escalate and spiral out of control.
I will speak on that since we're about to go off shortly. Please chime in if you want. I'll try to be fast. Listen, he's being gulled into doing that. This is the same crap they've done time immemorial. All right, all these events behind the scenes, the little bastard organizing things and saying all these.
Well, I think NATO, but it's NATO's. It's NATO's proxy war at
it's
a time.
It's not NATO, right? NATO's the cutout. Okay, they're the agent that they have acting for them, right? But it's not NATO. NATO doesn't have a brain. There's some stupid bastard behind the scenes.
Well, then who's behind NATO?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's a stupid bastard running NATO.
I would think Victoria Nuland is. She's probably not shedding too many tears.
Right, Victor Newman is one, right?
Do you know that? Do you know that her family? There's a long, like the Trotskyite type.
Well, I heard today, Jeffy. I
tradition.
heard today that their grandparents had to do with the whole Voldemort.
I'm sorry that Victoria Newland's grandparents
had to do with starving people to death.
They were right there, basically making decisions that. What are you talking?
They had some role,
but that was the Ukraine. That was the Ukraine.
Yes,
and this is Victoria Newland.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't understand because she apparently is.
Didn't she say FTEU famously?
I'm sorry?
Didn't she say, I didn't want to say the word, I figured I'd save that for some other time. F the EU?
Oh, yeah.
Did she say that?
No, I don't know if she said it or not, but I've heard one of them said it.
Yeah, the EU, I don't know how the EU itself maybe
use another cutout,
maybe
but
maybe fragmenting and kind of falling apart at the seams.
A lot of people are turning against the EU though, and a lot of not just movie stars and celebrities, but like politics.
Look what happened in Poland recently. That was a bit of a surprise, wasn't it? So, and you know what's interesting too? I'm just trying to think. Okay, we got these peace talks taking place, and we'll kind of just for the next few minutes, I suppose, before we get shut down here, the first hour segment, and then I'll have to cue up the commercial break. So you folks just stand by while we do that. You can listen on the other end if you like, but within the context of what we've seen take place, like AI is, can you just imagine where it's going to be in 10, 20 years and how this is going to, I think we were talking about this, we touched on this during the pre-show audio tech end of things. Is that right, Vinny? Where we're talking about AI and I said, well, very asymmetrical, and you thought it was beyond that. Is that right?
I said amorphous. The whole thing has changed now.
It's crazy.
What people have been told AI is now, we're way past, in my opinion.
Oh my God! And then the risk of AI, like just the implications, and AI just getting out, just completely losing its, like getting pretty crazy. So it's not even people making decisions anymore. It takes on a mind all of its own, and it just decides to do random chaotic things. That.
But would I scare you if I told you I think I'm pretty much keeping up with AI?
Well, that's good that somebody has to. I'm sure there's a few people out there that are doing all they can to. Yeah, we have to. I mean, we need to, or else we're going to completely, it's bad enough already. But this is what happens, So, but one of the things I was going to say is that Putin playing with fire, peace talks, Trump on the phone. Suddenly, then within a few days, it's like, Vladimir's gone. He's lost his mind. He's gone crazy, and then there's an attack. There's an attack on the Ukraine, which it had quite an impact, I guess. I'm not to what extent exactly it was significant. It was significant. I believe it was a rush. Putin and because he's the one calling the shots, essentially, is he not? But he didn't disavow the fact that he was behind it. In the sense that
he got caught off guard.
Well, no. What I'm talking about is what happened in the Ukraine, just backing things up. Before then, just shortly thereafter, see, they say Ukraine unleashed a swarm of drones targeting Putin, and it almost took him out. But the thing about it, from what others had to say, is that it was NATO that was behind the assassination attempt, which, in a sense of, once again, this all being a proxy war for NATO makes sense. And also, did you notice how quickly Zelensky came out? What the hell? Oh, bloody hell. that was way too early, folks. That was way too early that we got cut off of there. But it's interesting too because we have yet to. I forgot to do a few things. There's these technical matters we so often we neglect to do. Forgot to launch Telegram. Forgot to get the Facebook end of things going. So we're going to work on doing that right now, actually, and seeing if we can generate more of a buzz here, as far as social media is concerned. Speaking of which, good news to report on in the sense that we've got our Twitter back. They had our Twitter had been suspended, as it were, for since last October, actually. So that's what is that? 8 months? It's ridiculous. And then we finally launched an appeal, and I don't know. They took it down. They took both of our accounts down without saying anything, and they put them back up without saying anything. But what we pointed out was that, and I'm echoing back here on this other channel, so just bear with us, folks. But CAPTCHA was going crazy every time we tried to log in. We got this CAPTCHA this and CAPTCHA that, so it was pretty irritating. And we learned just through happenstance, it was a coincidence more than anything, that there's a real kind of cottage industry, people out there, these CAPTCHA breadcrumb miners, and it almost seems like it's something of an addiction for them, even though they're making total peanuts, nothing hardly whatsoever. And they work and game the whole CAPTCHA end of things. So I'm not sure if it was because of human hand in the mix that had an impact and led to our accounts being suspended, if it was a technical glitch, something more as far as algorithms were concerned, or what have you. But once again, on a positive note, it's good to see that we have the freedom, at least, to engage and operate, contribute to the public discourse from time to time via X. Although, honestly, we take a pretty ambivalent view toward Musk. I mean, it recently came out regarding his alleged ketamine use, along with the fact that, what is that black eye all about? Did anyone hear anything about why this was the case? Did you see the pictures of him? It was on his right eye. So who knows? Maybe Trump had to thought that's what it would take to knock him back into line. Who the hell really knows? Just use your imagination, I guess, right? So, but we're just taking care of a little bit of business over here on via Facebook. And we're going to queue up the... Actually, before we do queue up our weekly promotional blurbs, we're going to make sure that we've got... Oh, that was fast. We've got our Telegram going out live to the world, so good stuff. There's some of Sonia's latest, I guess it's largely AI generated artwork. Good to see a little more in the way of network branding, the website address, and so forth. You know, added to the pictures and in some way. But I mean, there's an upside clearly to the whole AI phenomenon, the futuristic, meta-modern age that we find ourselves living in, the technology we have at our disposal. But clearly, you know, things are already at the point where one could easily see the whole thing quickly careening quite chaotically out of control. God forbid. Wouldn't it be wonderful if AI could be more of a friend and a force for, you know, something that would benefit, greater benefit to humanity than not. So, we'll head in here. There we go. And remind people that with $25 or more is all that is required. $25 or more with any order via Red Dragon Herbs and Teas, and you will immediately receive a 10% discount. All you simply have to do, let Ryan know, is one of two things: either Pirate Radio or Pirate Code. That's the way of doing it. That's how you unlock that amazing discount and savings. Well, via the CannaSense Cannabis Collective, 5813 5813 is what it's important to take note of. And that's our referral link. That's how you can connect with us via CannaSense Cannabis Collective. Check out all of the great inventory products that both have to offer, and it ends up being a win-win for everybody, all three parties: ourselves, the suppliers of the various products, and yourself as well too, obviously. So and let's not forget the merchandise that we have available as well via Galactic Fire, Teespring, TeePublic, the PayPal angle, as we mentioned earlier. People can help out using the Pirate One Radio at protonmail.com address. Digital love that we always appreciate, of course. Half of everything goes directly back to charity. A lot of people don't know about this. A lot of other social media, you know, operations, I don't think they've taken the time to embrace this whole approach, way of doing things. But we would encourage them to do exactly that. There's a lot of people out there who that sort of generosity could stand to benefit, and we've been doing our own little part here over the years, and would challenge all others out there listening, not least of whom perhaps are in some way tied into their own social media projects that could, lend an ear and potentially follow suit. We'll be back in just a few brief moments here, folks. Do not touch that. Do not touch that radio dial or computer mouse.
Contactless appointments available. Medical cannabis is now legal by telemedicine. Get the medicine you need by getting reviewed for a medical cannabis card. Contactless appointments available at CannaSense.com. For as low as $39, you can get reviewed for a medical cannabis card. That's CannaSense.com for a licensed medical cannabis doctor review. CannaSense.com has all the information you need to get connected with a doctor for a $39 medical cannabis appointment. CannaSense.com. CannaSense is common sense.
Catering exclusively to the Des Moines, Iowa area and beyond, Red Dragon Herbs and Teas is a small, family-owned business dedicated to the creation of only the finest quality artisan herbal tea blends. Drawing upon many of the world's most richly established customs and traditions, Red Dragon Herb's mission is about more than just getting their products out to the market. They also strive to help educate their customers on the wider benefits, history, and folklore of all their plants. Of course, any seasoned pirate knows when they're fixin' to tango with the Kraken, you best be powered up with at least one of the finest select quality premium items, freely offered via Red Dragon Herbs and Teas wide inventory. Choosing from any of their caffeine-free headache relief or rest and relaxation blends, history has proven their products among the best sources of scurvy prevention and vitamin supplementation. Red Dragon Herbs and Teas, bringing you guaranteed homegrown health relief.
Red Dragon Herbs and Teas, bringing you guaranteed homegrown health relief. We are back with the final segment to this week's live streaming edition of World Pirate Radio News, show number 321. Welcome, everybody. Good to have you on board. I myself, of course, your trusted host and companion, the Robin Hood's Chief Communications Officer, Jaffe Ryder. Got a colorful crew on board with us this go round. Makes a total of 6 altogether, meeting down in Skullport Harbor. So I guess we'll call them back up here and see if we can carry along with the conversation, see where things lead. No. Okay, that's not the way to work Teams. Let's just do it this way. Number of different options that we're looking at here as far as launching the VoIP voice over internet protocol, getting it going, and reconnecting with the handful of people we had on board. Naroki, stand by. Hang on. You'll want to turn. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, turn. Okay, folks. Okay, not a problem. Make sure everyone turns their speakers off, or
how you doing?
Down and point them away from each other. Is that Yvonne that we're hearing there again?
Yep.
Oh, I see. Yeah, well, we had to call back because I think we might even see Johnny Webb on board as well, too. So that's interesting. But go ahead, Yvonne. Hey, Johnny, how you doing?
You guys?
Yeah, all good.
Well,
after Yvonne, sorry.
Go ahead. Yeah. I think he said he's off to eat.
How's everybody doing?
Good. Let's see if we can bring you up here. What's the latest via Coquitlam, British Columbia, Yvonne? And
well, it was weird. Last Friday,
we're
on our way to the mall, Coquitlam Center. We go in, and people are running out of Walmart, and security wouldn't let anybody in. And I asked what's going on. They said, oh, some idiot went in and sprayed pepper spray everywhere and got in this girl's eyes and shit. They're pouring milk in her eyes, trying to help her, relieve her. And it was just this guy who's on one of those, what do you call those scooter things? The electric scooters? It was just wheeling through Walmart, spraying pepper spray everywhere. And it's just horrible. And people were like coughing, gagging. And, it's modern terrorism. And then on next door, a local app, one lady's like, "Oh, serves them right for shopping at Walmart." Like,
that's hilarious.
What with your granddaughter? I mean, geez. I mean, have a heart.
That's a great punchline. Serves them right for shopping at Walmart. So what was his motive? Who was this and why?
I didn't catch him. He went out. He zoomed out of the store, but the store closed for the evening. He sprayed it in people's faces and the food, everything, in the rotisserie chicken, everywhere.
Oh, that's great. So,
terrible.
Come on, but there's CCTV cameras everywhere, though, too, right?
Well, we're not in Korea, buddy.
So
it's
they
not
don't
quite like that here. There might be some cameras. But
was he masked?
it's not like South
Korea. Any idea if he was masked?
No idea. I a few days later, I went in and I asked a guard, the insecurity cop. I said, "Hey, did they catch him?" And they're like, "Well, no, he got away."
Wow.
So,
well, that's
pretty bizarre.
Well, that's Canada. If it was the States, there would have been like probably 25 people lying dead in pools of blood scattered.
Yeah.
Throughout the mall.
That's like bear spray or something. It's just crazy.
Well, it's too bad that he was not restrained.
You know, it's really funny. We're outside parking the Pilot, and I go into one little, parking space, and it's too narrow, and wife's freaking out. It's too narrow. You're gonna bang the car door in the next car. You're too fat to get out. And so I back out. I find another parking spot. Then there's this lady standing right in the middle of the road in a wheelchair staring at me. And we're both like tete-a-tete. And we're not going anywhere. And then finally we park it. And we go in and, and I'm really grateful because if we would have gone in sooner, probably would have ended up with bear spray in our faces.
Yeah, you could have caught her exactly.
We're going into Walmart because that's the only place where you can do Western Union now.
Oh, yeah.
Money marts don't have it anymore. So we went into Western Union for our homestay, to get his check from his mom in Peru. And anyways, they closed that down, so we had to go to the Poco Walmart instead. But it's just crazy, like, people spraying. What kind of world do we live in?
You're lucky that's all it was.
And then it wasn't even covered in the news. Nothing. No news at all.
Really?
Isn't that strange?
Yeah, just imagine how many other... Yeah, just imagine how many other things take place throughout the course of each and every day. Oh, I'm sorry. Hang on, he can't hear me because I'm muted out.
Yeah, BC keeps it for itself, say, like, you don't hear much about, like, the bad, like, like, Hastings and stuff like that, like, like, they try to keep it low, like, I don't know, like, yeah, news are corrupted, I guess, there, like, don't talk about the real thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a T-shirt for that.
What I was muted out, actually. I heard everything you said. I was gonna just add to it. You're lucky that's all it was. It could have been a lot worse, obviously. But just think of all throughout the course of our lives, and given what you said there, how the news media never even reported on it. All of the other things that have transpired throughout the course of our lives, that similarly, that warranted some coverage, yet the news media just didn't bother to address. Yet little live streaming, shows such as ourselves, or people that just do the podcasts, something a little different, that are basically pre-recorded and then archived online. But the live streaming, no censorship, really, no filter, no spin. That thank God for folks such as ourselves here operating via the Fifth Estate. It's part of what makes us so dangerous, frankly, because for a whole number of reasons. One of which, it makes the establishment media look bad, and in so many ways. Because why is it that they're not covering these stories, and they leave it to us to pick up on?
Jeffy, they didn't need any help from us. They've been doing this for decades. So screw them.
That's kind of what I've been saying. That's right. Yeah, that's what I was getting at. Maybe I didn't make myself clear enough. Go ahead, Yvonne.
I was accenting.
Vinny, go ahead, Vinny.
Yeah, I was just accenting. That's all it was. Of course you've been saying it. Listen, these guys are a bunch of clowns. There's still people after they've taken the death shots out of circulation. They're still pushing for animal shots. Do you know that? They're still trying to get mRNA into the market, even after this has been taken out of the human market.
I had no idea. A big shout out here to Svetlana, who we see active in the comment section. Jaffe's,
thanks Svetlana. Thanks for the lemons.
Jaffe's just hearing what he wants to hear. Selective hearing. Now, I'm not... Okay. Now...
I think she's just teasing you, lad.
I don't know. May I would let it clarify. Let's hear what she's got to say regarding, flesh it out for us, Svetlana. I'm not... Maybe selective hearing, but not much of a mind reader as much as some people might think. So... And, Driga, Sonia, and I think we saw Vinny there as well. Roger Hansen. Good stuff. Seen everyone active. Various Drigas Productions. Great. Yeah. In fact, we should click on the pirate merch link here. I'm going to show you a quick something here, too. You must be 19
Show everybody
years...
where they can get some booty.
Oh, there's lots of booty over there. Trust me. And we're not talking just Sonya Galactic either. So Roger,
Svetlana's there. Svetlana's there. She's supposed to be hot, but I think she's really Sonya in disguise.
Yeah, I think she's also married. So, but
It's not like I want to have sex.
Finally
I
revealing.
just want to see her boobs.
Oh my god.
Finally revealing. Oh, I never finished that, did I? I never finished the whole thing. My boobs. Callback, full circle, callback to way back when. No, it's this documentary deal, and it's this breast reduction, basically, is what it is. So, I'll have to. I put it in the health. We have a health and well-being folder here in our digital library. These storage devices that we've got. So, it'll be in. It's a I don't know. It's a medical procedure, man. It's like, geez, you know, Roger. When you look at women, I really had a good friend, a lady friend. She was Tibetan. She was practicing Tibetan Buddhist tradition as best she could. She was very devoted and sincere, and I was really lusty and horny at that time of my life, not for her, but just actually, well, for almost anything that would show up on my doorstep, come my way. Typical, guys, eh? But the way she laid it on me, she said that it's really the best approach if just if we think of women as our daughters, our mothers, our sisters, our aunts, our grandmothers, and then finally, she didn't say it explicitly, but then finally something that you want to, stick your penis inside of, and to the point of sexual climaxing. Well, just cut to the chase. So
I'm supposed to think of all of my relatives before I want to have sex with a woman? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yep.
That's disgusting, dude.
Yeah.
That is disgusting.
Think this. Okay, so you're hot for, say, Sonia. Think of her as your friend, your sister, your daughter, your grandmother.
I have no problem with having sex with my friends.
Your aunt, your grandmother.
No, that's not gonna happen.
The old crone.
Like that. I mean, that's.
No wonder why the population is going down, man.
Well, I'll tell you what, because what it does,
first place. So.
Pardon me. What's that?
The sex thing is sacred in the first place, and if we bring that back, we don't have to worry about all the less crap.
Yeah, because people really, guys especially, really. Women too, to some degree, but we really got to get a grip on that beast, as it were, that fire that rages and burns, that itch that just won't go away.
STDs, man.
Hey, Jaffe.
Yeah, that's a good. STDs are a great teacher. Go ahead, Yvonne.
Do you remember Jimmy Lee at the Palomino?
He didn't die, did he?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
But were you there around 97 or not? That was before your time, right?
I flew in Canada Day, 2002.
Oh, sorry. Well, my first year there, my buddy John Hall and I, we used to play at the Palomino, do a lot of Stan Rogers and stuff.
Was he hitting on? He was hitting on John?
No.
Johnny was hitting on John.
No.
Jimmy, no.
Well, there was a girl who was there from Washington, D.C.
Okay.
And her name was Deirdre Flint. And she was a really good folk singer. And she'd get up and play on the Saturday night hootenannies at the Palomino. Anyways, later she formed a band when she went back to America. And they're called the Four Bitchin' Babes. I just put a link on there.
Really?
And she wrote a song called "The Boob Fairy Never Came for Me." It was such a cute tune, and they're really big in college campuses across America.
I guess with the titles like that, you would be. How could you go wrong? But yeah, that's cool.
She was very talented. Good
I believe you just by your I'd take your word for it for sure. You know what you're talking about. Definitely. But to finish, it just had to do with breast reduction. I think it was called My Big Boobs. That whole documentary thing, My Big Boobs, and the breast reduction. These women, they struggle, they suffer, and it's more of a. Think of all the bruises you get on your face, bruises on your face, just going out for a jog. And
thing.
What's that?
horseback riding has done that to me.
Oh, yes. I love it. I love it.
I want to say
You ever
on
see
my
the
behalf.
movie,
Roger.
Everything You Always Want to Know About Sex, Was Afraid to Ask? Woody Allen.
Oh, yeah.
Giant tit chasing him. It's quite fun.
Oh, how about that? Hey, so Sonia, what size breast do you have? They look rather, I just kind of noticed they look rather extraordinary.
When you're looking to buy a house, and you look at all the pictures of all the rooms in the house and how they look huge.
Yours would be a mansion. It's a mansion.
You get to the house and you're there and you're like, wow, this is not as big as it looked in the photos. So I just wanted to kind of as far as these cameras these days and
no, but what size? No, okay, what size? Like I don't
just
triple D, triple E, F. I don't even know what the sizes mean, but I think triple D is pretty big, right?
You said triple D.
And then there's F and E are kind of the same. They're kind of the same, really.
My tits are F and
so
E.
It's just a double D anymore, really. I mean, I know it looks like it might be, but there again, it's the new house syndrome kind of thing.
I see.
So myself, I take a C cup.
Why is that? Why is that? Oh, I see. With Yvonne's moves,
in Korea, the Hooters, they hire male waiters because they have bigger boobs.
Play golf.
Oh yeah. Well, you know what you call men's boobs, don't you? They're called moobs.
Boobs.
Boobs.
Yeah.
With an M. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oops.
So, alrighty, let's look. We got limited time here. Another 40 minutes tops. Let's bring up the. We'll bring up the talking points. Before we do that, a little bit of the pirate swag here. Reminder: we got Ann Diamond coming up this Friday night. Assuming that her health manages to maintain itself. Yvonne, have you heard of Ann Diamond?
Ann Diamond.
The poetess and former friend.
No, you mean knowing the biblical sense of knowing?
Yeah, to Leonard Cohen.
I don't think I know her.
Well, no, friend of Leonard Cohen, and so.
She's from Montreal.
Probably. Christian?
I think wasn't she the one who did the thing about the Allen Institute?
Yeah, she was part of that. Like that's how I met her.
How did you know that?
Yeah,
Yvonne?
I saw that podcast. The guy in Saskatchewan.
You saw? Oh, so you heard about this through a podcast? You heard about her through a podcast? Is that right?
Yeah, Diamond. Yeah, she spent time at the Allen Institute under Dr. Ewan
Cameron.
Yeah. Is that right?
Yeah.
That's how the story goes. Yeah. Now, so this is as a youth, is that right? Is during her younger years?
Yeah.
How young? What, a child? Teenager?
About how when across Canada, many psychiatric institutes implemented the shit Dr. Ewan Cameron came up with.
Well, let me tell you something. That sounds about right.
And here in Coquitlam, they have the Riverview Psychiatric Hospital. It used to be open, and they practice that shit there.
They closed it down?
Yeah, they did.
Why?
What's that called? MK Ultra. Remember?
Yeah. Well, yeah, they're working together hand in glove with the CIA.
Yeah, right.
Because the CIA cannot get away with that kind of crap on their own turf, the homeland soil. They've got to outsource it, right?
Yeah. That's it.
Look the other way. So
very interesting podcast.
And
what's
when
the guy's name? Saskatchewan.
Do you know that a lot of people, you talk Operation Paperclip, that in the Nazis, they mostly think, NASA and the rocket program, NASA's rocket program. But guess where else those Nazis weaseled their way? areas of society they weaseled their way into. American Psychiatric Association.
Absolutely.
It goes so much deeper. I just finished doing a conspiracy episode where I was talking about MK Ultra with DARPA, and a lot of people don't understand. Like you were talking about AI and all that stuff, but DARPA actually was originally called ARPA, and the internet and video games and all of this stuff was one hand in hand from the beginning all the way up to now, and they incorporated a lot of things from MK Ultra into it.
What did ARPA stand for? What did ARPA originally stand for?
I actually have it in my notes.
Well, what does DARPA stand for? It's like Advanced Defense something or another. Research.
Advanced Research Projects, whatever
American.
it is.
Yeah.
American?
Now,
anyways, we can look it up. The acronym, I'm sure, can be found easily enough.
DARPA is, I'm doing it now, but they got a crappy search thing for it.
So ARPA, that's right. Yeah. Well, and that was Man-Bear Pig who was behind the whole thing, was it not? Al Gore? Didn't he? I thought he launched
it. He's going to be rich. He's going to be rich on global warming.
Yeah. Right.
DARPA goes all the way back to the 60s and the maybe even early 50s. It was actually, it stands for Defense Advanced Research Project Agency, and ARPA is an Advanced Research Projects Agency.
Advanced Research Project Agency, yeah.
Right. And it started out as ARPA first, it changed to DARPA, and then back to ARPA, or the other way around. You know what I'm saying? It went from ARPA to DARPA, then DARPA to ARPA again, and then back to DARPA.
Basically,
so they've been bouncing back and forth with their name.
Probably for legal reasons.
Yeah, soon their name will be DERP.
DERP.
Yeah.
I like that.
So anything you can imagine, or anything you, whoever can imagine, it can and will be done. Be rest assured. And that's why I say there's a war. The war for hearts and minds has been fought since time immemorial. That's just the fact. Anyone that can't see that, well, probably shouldn't be listening to this show. But also this full spectrum dominance business and the war on humanity, right down to the last little nanoparticulate. I've said it time and again. I'll continue to say it. Wi-Fi. Look at, and Tesla. If you seek to know the truth regarding creation and the universe, look no further than frequency and vibration. And
369. That's right.
When they start to weaponize, and that's really, it seems, what the Wi-Fi is. It was launched as a weapon to use, for military purposes. That to think that doesn't impact us in some form or fashion is really to miss the point. Clearly, it's a major problem, and we need to. The most that we can do, I suppose, besides talk about it, is one of the things we can do is practice better meditation rather than running out and getting more medication, big pharma, which is another area in the industry that's been long weaponized. Higher quality, more focused, holistic healing meditation. So, yeah, I mean, just think about it. The big media, big pharma, the education system, military itself, obviously, the poisoning of the waters through fluoride, for starters. God only knows what else. Now the air with the chemtrails, the geoengineering, And look at AI. Speaking of like ChatGPT AI, it is so pro mainstream narrative, pro establishment in the way that it just it is really quite laughable the way it refuses to acknowledge anything that is outside what the 6 o'clock news would not report on, basic, or that you are not able to find anywhere outside of a locked down Wikipedia page. I wonder if they lock those pages down pretty good, don't they? Yeah, the Ministry of Truth.
You want to hear something scary?
Fire away.
The Economist, according to this, has called DARPA the agency that shaped the modern world with technologies like Moderna's COVID-19 vaccine, weather satellites, GPSs, drones, stealth technology, voice interfaces, and personal computers, as well as the internet. And it was also recommended to Dwight D. Eisenhower, and later on, it was incorporated by Dwight D. Eisenhower back in 1958. So since from then all the way up until now, that's what's been involved.
Welcome, Karma Love. Great to have you on board in the house.
Welcome, Karma.
Roger will have a thing or two to say to that.
Yes.
But as far as well, look at Eisenhower in that particular era, the National Security Act, and the formation of the CIA under that, and the national security state, and the simultaneous rise of the military, industrial, pharmaceutical, entertainment, fuckaroo, as I sometimes put it. Does that count as one F-bomb, technically? If it's a compound word, not just the F-bomb on its own, but a compound fuckaroo?
Yes, it does.
I like fuckaroo. And
yeah, that's two. That's for the tip jar.
How many F-bombs have you dropped on the show, Mark?
I think that's only 2 so far tonight.
No, you yourself.
Oh, me on air?
Yeah, since you've been working with us, sir.
I don't normally do that.
You don't. I know.
That's usually a word that I'll find another word, because I feel that hey, all of us are pretty intelligent.
Yeah.
And we should have a very wide vocabulary.
Yeah.
So I try to use my vocabulary as much as I can.
That's
even if it comes up with words.
Yeah.
That may the description may be a little better or not.
That's how my dad put it back in the day, kind of the way he with the context of things.
Mark's a beautiful man.
Where
he's so beautiful.
We can do a lot better.
Roger.
We can do a lot better, than
I would take you in a heartbeat.
You guys get a room?
Oh, I'm sorry.
What have you given up on the other Mark?
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking.
Hey, I'm not into that baby oil stuff, Roger. Thing. So you think of Edworthy instead of me, all right?
This is how you get him fired up. You gotta start talking sexy to him. He starts talking.
Oh God, this is how you get fired, Roger. So knock it off. Trump's Golden Dome, 175 billion. Let's keep our eyes on the prize here. What's happening in the world of the past week's news cycle? That's what we're here to discuss. There's enough rampant foolishness and immaturity as it is via the interwebs. I don't think we need to feed or fuel it any more, really. But hey, check out that slide. I'm assuming. Oh, actually, guys, maybe you cannot see it. Who really built it? I haven't turned on the screen share, have I? This go round. Maybe forgot to do that. Bring that to everyone's viewing pleasure here momentarily. The people. Oh, son of a! Did I just close this down? No. Bloody hell. No, we gotta stop sharing. Try this again. But yeah, Merlin. That's an interesting kind of offbeat story. I think I was speculating, thinking, did that come from Egypt, perhaps, or is it the other way around? But there is a myth that Merlin, he kind of, he moved the stones through. We touched on this business of vibration. Tesla's great insight, harmonics, perhaps, and that's how he managed to move the stones. I'm not sure if they constitute or qualify as menhirs. Isn't that what was it? Obelisk, Asterix and Obelisk. Was it Asterix and what was the name of that comic strip back in the day? They had the little dog. Gerard Depardieu was, I think he portrayed.
Well, Asterix the Gaul is the comic, yeah.
Asterix Obelix, yeah. So, but anyways, Merlin and raising the stones. Ah, son of a bitch. Do you guys? Can you? I'm not sure if that's even working right now. I'm gonna.
Yeah, it's up. It was up, Jeff.
Okay, I'm just include the sound. It's a little tricky here, but there we go. So, turn this around. There we go.
So is that your topic right there? Is that one of them with Merlin?
Yeah, that was one. Fly. Yeah, if you got something to add, go. It's all yours.
Well, the weird thing about Merlin is you'll hear a lot of people say it's from like Welsh and Scottish. They say that. But then there's also it's really strange how that works out with King Arthur and Merlin, because like you find some stories that are from France as well.
Look at but his role in building Stonehenge was more to the point, right? And look at the name Merlin. I think I know what part of it means. It's right there, Merlin.
You know about the scones, right?
Stonehenge?
I think the original name was Maralise or something like that.
Well, okay. Do you know what it means? Can you break it down etymologically?
Miracle or something like that. It means miracle.
Wow.
I believe that has something to do with the context of it.
Okay, that could be part of it, maybe, because even the word miracle is related to the mare end of things, that part of his name, which is French for ocean or sea.
Murden was Murden the Wild.
Maritime, like maritime, right? So le mer, is it la mer, le mer? Anyways, ocean. What was that, Roger?
Now, Murden was a name too. It was Murden the Wild. He was a bard who lived in the forest.
In what? Kind of like Celtic mythology?
That was kind of like a precursor to Merlin, the Merlin figure.
Oh, yeah. Interesting.
And he was supposed to live in the wild, and he had a real deep connection to nature and stuff.
Okay. Well, but the word miracle, I never made this. I never connected the dots here, but that's fascinating because you think about the water, miracles, and from a druidic standpoint, and the necessity perhaps of water, because they work with the elements, right? Water, air, fire, earth.
Mm-hmm.
I think in Chinese alchemy and so forth, metal is added to the mix, but
there's
miracle.
There's seven in Asian, I believe. They add metal and spirit to it.
Okay,
I believe. But also when you're talking about a wizard levitating stones and that, if you look in the Pacific Ocean, there is a place in the Pacific Ocean that has a ruins there that that come up out of the water, and they were built supposedly by a wizard or sorcerer who levitated this bauxite no, anthracite. It's not coal. It's a type of granite that's harder. It's one of the hardest types of granite, and this place is all built out of it. And there's no place in the Pacific, in that area, that has that much.
Where in the
if
Pacific?
They would have. It's. I believe it's out near Malaysia.
There are so many submerged cities. People, most of us here that are on board.
I can't remember the name of it,
yes?
but I do remember. I do remember Baz talking about it when we had him on from. That's what we call him. He does paranormal shows, and he's actually scuba dived in that area and checked it out. It's really cool.
Well, Yonaguni is another. But think of all the here's one for everybody. Think of all the ancient submerged cities that throughout the course of the apocalypse, to this point, the stage at least, we've now uncovered or discovered, thanks to archaeological pursuits and the use of ground penetrating radar. But also think of how much is out there yet still to be discovered or uncovered. That's still hidden. So
exactly. And Baz's real name is Barry Fitzgerald. That's just his nickname.
That sounds pretty gay.
Yeah, it does.
Barry Fitzgerald. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Larry Fitzroy.
That's what he goes by is
that's so gay.
Short Baz.
Well, that's probably a good idea that he does. Larry Fitzroy.
He's originally from the UK but lives in the States now. So
any guy who fits another, that's either they're really close friends or there's something quite kind of fishy going on.
Well, at least he's not a Spaniard, though. Think about it, Juan Ponce de Leon.
Yeah.
Or, come on. That's about as gay as you get. You know what I mean? That's why they took Juan off of it and just called him Ponce de Leon.
You think so, huh?
Well, you think about it. Just say it in your head to yourself.
Juan Ponce de Leon.
That's about as gay as you can get.
That wasn't some character out of Don Quixote or anything like that.
That was in Florida. He was supposed to.
He was a Spanish explorer. Yeah.
Right. He was one of the first people to really discover, as it were, and lay claim for Spain to the Americas. Yes.
Well,
early 16th century.
You call it that. A lot of people say he was shot by a poisonous arrow as he was going out to his ship, but I think he was eaten by the freaking cannibal Indians. Because Florida has cannibals that were Indians.
Speaking of archaeology too, I think the remnants of those villages that the Spaniards founded, and the settlements they had in place, they have been uncovered. For anyone that's interested, I've sometimes download torrent documentary packages, occult, mystery, ancient history, of course, things like that. It's intriguing, to say the least. So, I Roger, I know you do a lot of that too. And Mark, yourself, I don't know about Vinny necessarily.
Yeah, I will neither confirm or deny that I use torrents, or I have used or still do use pirated.
Well, you better
software, graphics, or whatever. I will neither confirm nor deny that, and I myself because we're going out on many streams, all right, we'll say that, we don't recommend that if you do that and to buy the original stuff. So, yeah, that's just me. All right.
The one thing,
I don't know
all
how
right,
the others feel.
okay, all right. The one thing I definitely would not recommend is people that go out of their way and try to make money from it. That's. I talked to a lawyer about this once, and that was really where the rubber hit the road, and that was the crux right there. Just otherwise we're sharing freely sharing files among friends. That's all.
Hey, Jeffy.
Yeah,
Jeffy, let me ask you. What if you heard that some idiot was going to threaten to DMCA you, right? But the person uttering this does a show where he plays copyrighted material.
What does that? What does that mean? You lost me.
What if someone threatened you with the DMCA, having all your material pulled down from the internet?
Yeah.
But the same person threatening you does a show where he plays copyright material that he doesn't have permission to play.
Well, that's pretty.
I will neither confirm nor deny that has happened to me. All right, and I did have permission from the parent group, but the sister station here, not station, but association to them, the sister company here in the States threw a big hissy about it. So you can still get in trouble even if you have permissions.
Isn't that something? Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, just communication issues or what have you. So it's a total.
Well, Jackie, I just wish there was something. I wish there was something good that was worth pirating, because everything they're putting out now is hot garbage.
Let me tell you something though. How about this? What's up with this? Like a group, they're not the Eagles, or they're not Led Zeppelin or Beatles or Rolling Stones, as an example. Just any Beyonce, you name it. But there are these YouTube channels, and they host and archive all, like, a whole range of famous people's catalogs, musical catalogs, and nothing's ever done about it. Whereas people like ourselves will put a live stream together. Well, we'll do one song.
What the Alphabet company will tell you, I mean YouTube or whoever will tell you, is they have a license that they've purchased through them.
Oh, really? Really?
That allows them to do that. Yeah, and that costs money out of your pocket.
How much money?
It can, it depends. Now, if you play a Beatles song and you get caught, and you're broadcasting it on lots of platforms, it can be 50,000 plus a platform or more.
Okay, what I'm talking. No.
Yeah, and that's for 30 seconds or less for copyright.
Okay, what I'm talking about is channels that are, if not exclusively, then predominantly dedicated to archiving music. As an example, you could say, documentaries or what have you. It's interesting. Movies are a little different, it seems, and classic, TV shows from the bygone era. But contemporary music is one that you find time and again that they've got a lot available, but they're not the Wallflowers or Tom Petty or Bob Dylan or Led Zeppelin or any of these other, as I said, Beyonce or whoever, people listen to these days. I don't, Van Morrison, these are my guys, right? Like a lot of them, the music that I appreciate, enjoy, and value and respect.
Led Zeppelin, though, they were
Elvis.
notorious they were notorious for copyright infringement.
Can you answer the question though? Yeah, okay, that's another issue. We get that, but we're talking about these people that have YouTube channels. They say they're called like Mr. Mustard, Mean Mr. Mustard, and they have an entire channel or whoever.
I actually found out some new information on that. To be honest, they've changed the way they're doing copyright.
That's why I'm asking you. It's if anyone
now,
knows.
Before YouTube would get involved, but now they've set it up to where if, like, say, a channel has music on theirs that belongs to them, and they can detect that you're using their music, they can directly hit you with a copyright infringement now.
Sony, they talk like Sony, for example.
Yeah,
they're brutal,
they can
man.
do it directly.
They did that. Like we played one Bob Dylan song years ago. It was like, must be Santa, must be Santa, must be Santa, Santa Claus. It's a great video. It's hilarious. And it's a fun song, and it helps to, just all part of the Christmas spirit. But they're bad. They're notorious. Sony is the worst, and it was exactly what you're talking about there. I think is how, and it got taken down worldwide. That was the company that I was
talking about. But anyways, yeah,
worldwide.
Yeah.
That one you don't admit to, you neither deny or.
Who, Mark? Go ahead.
Yeah, Mark.
Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, that was the company that I will neither confirm nor deny.
Oh, to hell with Sony. Michael Jackson was who's that? Tommy Gangster. What's the name? Probably Italian Mafia. The Italian mob and the Jewish mob. It's like the Italian. Yeah. Is it? What is it? The Italians. The Jewish mafia work with largely with the copyright and one part of the operation, and the Italians, it's distribution kind of deal, right? So they've all got a piece of the action, a piece of the pie.
I gotta wet my beak.
Implicit, it's the deal.
We all know where that all goes back to: the approval or denial from the Vatican. You know that, right?
Sounds about right. Ultimately, yeah, that's right. Yeah, the Vatican's got to take a look at what deals being struck. Isn't the Vatican the world's largest landowner? Pretty sure.
I wouldn't be surprised if they're also the one that has the most patents as well in the world.
Oh. Crown of England, #2. So, but that's a great point. Patents. And speaking of the Vatican, the secret Vatican archives, the libraries they have. Do you know how big? Do you know what we're talking? Like, what are we talking? Like just a large sort of room, and that's it?
No, we're talking vaults that go. They go stories and stories deep.
It's something
under the Vatican.
It's something like 35 miles.
They don't even know for sure, to be honest with you. There's nobody that's actually kept enough records to determine how deep it is.
And how with that being the case, how the hell was it not so long ago they managed to find the lost book of Nostradamus?
Oh, I believe that happened when they opened the seal on one of the vaults that hadn't been opened for centuries or millennia. That happened just recently, too, I believe.
That would be centuries, because Nostradamus was, what, 1566 or something like that? Is that right? During the time of or wasn't it the 1500s?
That's Columbus, man.
Do you know Michel Nostradamus? Christian?
Yeah, I think it's in the 1400s or something like that.
Could be. Somebody we could check. Take a look at that. Look, we're running against the clock here, Christian. We got Ann Diamond hopefully join us. Now, you added her to the pirate. That's a lot of some. I never would have done that, but you're her friend, so you're more than welcome to. You've got her added now to the Facebook Pirate Radio podcast chat group over on Facebook. And this is one of the ways people can get involved. Of course, follow those links, reach out to us, connect through email, pirate1radio@protonmail.com. Of course, you can sign up via the website. Christian, what else can we say as far as, and if it is, she met, well, for one, spoiler alert, but she, I guess, is of the persuasion or understanding. I'd like to know how her and Leonard actually first met. That to me would be, that's definitely something we're going to want to hear about. But also, I have no, it would not surprise me in the least had he been a Mossad asset, not agent necessarily, but just asset.
Like that's her thought on him, like, because she noticed a lot of stuff through, you know, she's a MK too, eh? So like she noticed a lot of little details. So she's gonna elaborate on this herself, and but there's a good story there.
He was a big time Zionist. That's pretty obvious. I don't think he ever disavowed Zionism. I wonder how he would feel within the context of the current genocide.
I think he was. She's saying he was like a kind of a handler in MK. So
Oh, he could. I'd happily. I wouldn't let him handle me, but he could. I'd happily have a conversation with the guy. I thought he was great, brilliant mind and intellect, and a practicing Zen Buddhist for quite a few years as well. So, that's, I think, significant. It's something.
Yeah, you're showing favoritism.
What's that?
He's a Buddhist. You're showing favoritism because he's a Buddhist.
I don't know. What do you mean by that? It's just, he's a Zen Buddhist. I respect the guy.
He's a respectful, intelligent man because he's a Buddhist.
Yeah, I think maybe you've got it backwards. So,
well,
anyways,
I mean, if he was an Italian,
he's a Jew. He was a Jew-boo or a boo Jew. I'm not sure what they call it. That's what they call it.
That's horrible. That's like chewing bubble gum and freaking talking at the same time.
That's what they call them. They call them Jew-boos.
Oh wow!
Yeah. I think his career was effacing though. So
effacing? What do you mean by that? I don't know that word.
Well, because he was a spy, yeah.
Like
agent.
What do they call? Van Morrison has a song he wrote about his. A lot of these musical artists, they're all intelligence assets. Absolutely, big time. It's not just
Presley was.
Yeah, they all, like, so many of them, like, they got big mouths,
many of them,
and they shared intelligence, whatever it takes to stay alive, I guess, where necessary, right? Or if they feel it's the cause is worth it, if it's something that they're invested in, and that they could stand not just as a life insurance policy, but because they believe in the cause, like with Zionism, for example. But that's a great point. Yeah, like it's been talked about. It's something we need to be reminded of. Sonia here suspects. Well, my dad used to call him Bruce Dinkstink. I think that was a Bruce Dinkstink. So because I was a fan, I was a real good young teenager. Yeah, Bruce. Yeah. Dad's like, oh, Bruce Dinkstink. And part of it, I think, was because he was jealous, but also because my dad's just, if he can find a way to kind of get under your skin or rib you in some way, then he will.
He was really horrible. He was a horrible singer, dude. Like,
he still is. But he's not. But here's the thing. No. It's like a batting average. I was talking to my wife about this the other day. It's like a batting average, and sometimes you got it, and sometimes you don't. Sometimes you nail it, sometimes it's just not connecting. So, but there's times, like, I've listened to certain what he's put out, and it's like, geez, he should have known better. And can you believe that rant that he recently unleashed upon via Manchester? He released that as part. It was. I know, me, even as a fan listening, it's like this. Why, Bruce? Shut up and play, man. Tone it down. It was shrill. It was, oh my God. It was just, it was, Sonia, what do you got to say?
I told you about that guy.
Well, you don't know. You're intuiting.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, you know or you don't know, but I know because of his vibe. I mean, come on.
We both told you at the same time. We both told you at the same time, and And I also pointed out that John Cougar Mellencamp should have gotten a lot more credit than what he did.
Yeah, he's a good guy. I like him.
John Cougar Springsteen's way more the musician.
No.
Oh, you don't know what you're talking about, dude. We don't have time to get into it now. You have no idea what you're talking about.
John sung about real stuff, man. He sung about
No, I'm not saying he's not. Listen, you're not hearing me out. John
on the plow.
John Cougar, hell of a songwriter. Okay, now that's a different story. But as far as music, how many times have you seen John Cougar play the piano? How many times have you seen John Cougar? Unleashed with a smoking guitar solo.
He didn't have as much album as Springsteen either, eh?
As much what?
Album out as
I don't
Springsteen.
Oh, it doesn't matter. Quality, not quantity. I would counter with that. Who cares, But Bruce he's got some great music. Exactly. They both do. But Kid Rock came out the other day. He's like, yeah, Bob Seger's got. Come on, you want to tell you Bob Seger? But same thing. But Bob Seger, performer, great. Songwriter. I think he wrote a lot of his songs, and so forth. But musicianship. No, like piano. I think he played a little piano, Bob Seger, but guitar solos and so no. But good rhythm. The greatest
performers had charisma, Jaffe. That's what it is.
That's true. That's true. Of course. And look, you wouldn't be having thousands of tickets being sold if these people didn't have something. Like
I don't know.
But they're gonna cut us off here in just a few minutes, folks. So let your contact information, please. We will be adding it to the archived end of things. Let Her Rip, Cants Project, GMNO over on Minds. Children are not sex toys. Vinny, anything else? Thanks for dropping by the way. Nothing more.
There's a story I put in, and that was a tie-in to what you mentioned 5G earlier.
Yeah.
And there's some military guy who says that he knows the plan, and it has to do the best thing to do is to detox metals from your body.
Right.
And I'll leave and the video is there for you guys. I'll throw that in D Live too when you chance.
Yeah, there's this. Okay, great. And the Hiroshima, Nagasaki, the heavy metals. Yeah, the using what the hell was that thing? They call it doenzang here. Why do I always forget? Anyways, brain freeze, brain fart, what have you. Guys, Drigas Productions, Mark?
Yeah, Drigas Productions at gmail.com. You can find me almost everywhere there. And I have live shows tomorrow starting at 5:30 Central. And we'll go until we're done all 3 shows.
Thanks, matey. Appreciate it. Good stuff.
I start out with Censorship Sucks. Then we'll go into Paranormal Intelligence Agency with Jack Terry.
Mm-hmm.
And finish out with The Vixen's Vault with Nancy Planetta.
Prefer Jack Kerouac, but Jack Carey, he'll do.
Jack Carey used to be he was a host and a lot of times guest on Coast to Coast, as well as he's been on Gaia TV, had a show there, and he does shows through me now.
Excellent.
And he's very nice.
And he does cryptozoology and paranormal news.
Okay, good to hear. Roger Hansen over on Minds. Simple as that. How about anything more?
Yeah.
A minute.
Well, I'm on Kick, X, D Live, Twitch, and I'm on YouTube too. I'm probably the only one in this group that still uses YouTube, but I am on there. So
Roger Hansen, just simple, straightforward as that. So, and Sonya Galactic, galacticfire.com.
Yep, there you go. You said it for me.
Well, maybe catch up with the Lottie here this Friday night. Hopefully Ann will be in good form. Looking forward to connecting with her. Christian, we're going to try to bring you in as co-host as well too, potentially, if you're up for it.
Yay.
We'll like
Yeah,
to have you there in the
sure.
wings. You helped to
Yeah.
co-produce. You helped to make this happen. We like to see you duly rewarded. Get you up there in the crow's nest. Alrighty.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
that's about it. We're gonna cue up the outro here and cut away to what we have left to the balance of this week's live stream show segment 321. And Diamond coming up this Friday night. That'd be very cool. You know, I really wonder if she has much of an interest in the whole Zen Buddhist thing to any degree. Also, of course, very curious about her background in poetry, Canadian poetry in particular. Going to do a little more. You know, people like Gwendolyn McEwen, who I learned about in university Canadian literature class. Earl Burney, another favorite of mine. Poem of his called, gosh. Earl Burney actually was friends with Leonard Cohen too. There was a tight knit crew of people who were friends and peers of the poetic sort. So Bushed is the name of his poem. Gwendolyn McEwen, Green Pines Under Water. A Breakfast for Barbarians as well. Sadly, she ended up shoving her head inside an oven and gassing herself to death, is how the story goes. Maybe it wasn't forward. Oh, you can't say that on YouTube, can you? All these words like SEH and just you name it, just anything that just triggers the algorithms. People unable to speak openly and freely, and to the point where so many self-censoring, self-editing, when that's just not the way it should be done at all. Obviously, that's not that's not what all of these wars down through history have been fought for. So many of our forebears, ancestors, predecessors have been sent out to supposedly their marching orders were to, the end goal was to potentially die for the sake of upholding rights to freedom and democracy. But that's not necessarily what the powers that be who currently influence today's world tend to see things. So real tragic state of affairs if that's what it boils down to. Obviously, that's why places like minds.com are really great, of course, within the wider context of things. As many issues as they may have, as many, flaws and quirks, kinks that still need to be worked out, that they are open sourced, and I think they try their best to support free speech rights, among other things of the positive sort. So rarely ever hear me say too many bad things about Minds. In fact, we really need to remain a little more active over there, ideally. We post whenever we can as far as promoting the shows primarily is what it's all about, but we need to engage a little more in the groups themselves, of which we had a hand in helping to launch right from the get-go. So if you are interested in being a part of Minds and the group activity, let us know. We can send you this master list that's been making around, circulating via the digital underground. Pass it on to you. It's all open sourced, of course. So happy to pass it on, put it into your hands, and encourage the world to share and to plug into Minds, or at least drop by, check it out, see what it has to offer. So we'll be back here ideally this coming Friday night with Canadian poetess Anne Diamond to discuss her long-standing career and life in the field of Canadian poetry. Also, her history as an MK Ultra survivor and friend of Leonard Cohen is what we hear. So how about that? Small world, folks. Remember, as always, to hit us up via email, pirate1radio@protonmail.com. Always appreciate any PayPal support people have to offer. Half of anything we receive as far as donations are concerned go directly back to the grassroots. Check out the show description of things, and remember, WPRPN.com is the website address. On behalf of Captain Long John Sinclair and all the rest of the crew here down in Skullport Harbor, until we meet again via these high, often all too intrepid digital seas, I'm your host, as always, the show's Chief Communications Officer, Jaffe Ryder, reminding you, keep your ear to the ground and eyes to the sky. Tally-ho!